What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all enjoying a wonderful day, and this is going to be another forecast on the potential for a major Christmas snowstorm that's going to bring in a white Christmas for millions of people here across areas of the Mississippi River Basin, down to the southeast, all the way up to the areas that got smashed by gale across the Appalachians at the eastern corridor. So we're looking at a major and very widespread system here, not only going to bring some snow, going to bring in some extreme flash flooding across much of the whole eastern coast and much of the southeast as well. But we have some major updates on what the models show, and it's starting to favor a more southeastern snowstorm again. So we do have some more updates here, especially we have an increase on snowfall totals for some people. So we have quite a few updates compared to my last video. So if you want to get a look at those new updates, whether they forecast snow for you, how much snow, the timing, all of that, be sure to watch the video. If you still have any questions by the end of the video, be sure to ask them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to respond to them. Of course, comments come in really fast, so I'll do my best. And as well, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really appreciate it. We're almost at 5,100 subscribers, so I really appreciate all of you guys. But without further ado, let's get in the video. So first, let's take a look at the National Weather Service here, because I want to show you guys where this system kind of is right now here. So obviously we do actually have some windstorm watches in effect for when this low pressure brings in snow later today, and also much of later today and too much of tomorrow here. We are going to start seeing some snow across portions of the Midwest as that low pressure will come in with that high pressure up here. That's going to be with that cold dry air that's going to help produce some snow there on the 23rd and later today as well for a portion of the Midwest. That's going to be kind of the same low pressure that kind of pushes up in the Great Lakes, and then we have the other one down here. It's going to help produce all of that moisture across these areas, whether it's snow or rain, for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But as well, I really want to mention the very strong winds we'll be seeing here across portions of the Western Plains and Great Plains as well. We actually have some high wind warnings for a few million people here across Kansas and the Plains, and as well and the Dakotas and portions of Wyoming there. And those high wind warnings, we're expecting up to 60+ mile-an-hour wind gusts here. And you're probably wondering, why are those winds so strong? Well, it's because we have high pressure here, low pressure is going to come in straight here, and then we'll have one kind of developing off the Gulf Coast. So all this will kind of just bring in winds. All we're going to be seeing just winds coming from this low pressure, from this high pressure, and that's going to all meet up right here for portions of the Great Plains here. So high wind warnings, of course, as well. We have wind warnings across all these areas right here for portions of the Dakotas, Montana, Nebraska, portions of Colorado, and then we have those obviously we have those wind warnings as well across these same areas here, and that's right directly next to the windstorm watches for the Dakotas, Minnesota, and upper Wisconsin, with a few winter weather advisories. Same thing with a few winter weather advisories on the other side of those high wind warnings and wind warnings here. So that's going to be the same low pressure that kind of brings in all that snow potentially in these areas by Christmas Eve, and then it kind of meets with this low pressure that's going to help bring in the moisture here for these areas Christmas Eve and as well Christmas morning here. So that's kind of what we have on the National Weather Service. But let's look now at what the new GFS and European have to say. So let's look now at the next 40-ish hours here, and there's that low pressure that's going to bring in all that snow there. Of course, that's kind of where we have those winter weather advisories and watches across the Midwest. They're going to bring some snow there for the next few hours here, 30 hours there by tomorrow, seeing that snow developing there. And there's that low pressure once right here. So you're probably thinking, why isn't there going to be a massive snowstorm like the European shows, what it showed yesterday with all that snow developing right here? Well, that's because that low pressure really hasn't developed off the Gulf Coast. You see no moisture whatsoever. So that's why the snow right here up in the Midwest will be very limited. Not going to be seeing too much snow. 3-5 inches is going to be really the maximum, which is why we only have winter weather advisories and watches here. So due to the lack of moisture, it's going to be very limited here, which is why we're not going to be seeing too much snow there for Chicago or anything like that. But once now we get that low pressure developing in Louisiana, there you see all that moisture coming off the Gulf Coast. And then we have a few moisture coming off from that second low pressure. And that's just going to create one big wave of a ton of moisture and precipitation there. So that's going to be across much of the Mississippi River Basin, as well as seeing those finishing showers there, snow showers across portions of the Midwest from that cold blast there. So we are going to have a high pressure there in south central Canada at this point, and it's going to bring, of course, that cold, dry air. It's going to be very dry, so that's going to keep that snow very limited because all that moisture will be way to the east here, which is why we can see a good amount of snow and very heavy snow and very wet snow for areas like the southeast and Ohio Valley once it actually gets there, because there you see as that cold front just kind of chases that moisture, we're going to start seeing some snow showers here. So the reason why the snowstorm won't be affecting Indianapolis too much, Chicago too much, Memphis too much, like all these areas, because this cold front's going to be chasing this precipitation there. It's going to be right on the tail of it. So it's going to be just a few hours late here. So this cold front was here in place already. We would be seeing a massive snowstorm for Indianapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, but that's not the case here, because once this moisture goes to the east of these areas, that cold air just comes in too late here. So it's going to just be right on the tail for much of these areas across the Midwest, which is why we could see some scattered snow showers there for Indianapolis. It's going to be seeing very limited accumulation though. But as we now get later into Christmas Eve evening, late afternoon, that cold air starts to catch up a bit faster. So in the past few hours, we have gotten updates that support the cold front kind of just making it. So yesterday they were showing it not making it in time to bring in snow for Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, but now that has kind of changed here. So we are going to be seeing some very heavy snow for portions of the Nashville area. As well, going to start seeing that snow diminishing for parts of Indiana. But going to start seeing that very heavy snow developing there in Frankfort, as temperatures will be below freezing here. But for those areas that are going to be above freezing, we'll just see kind of that really heavy rain there, especially across these areas in the south. It's going to be seeing some potential major flooding, and then for these general areas, you're going to be seeing some just light rain showers here that will quickly develop into snow showers. But there you see that snow's going to really go very far south now. A huge update here, getting all the way down now near northwestern metro Atlanta here, Rome, Georgia, Calhoun, Georgia, up to Gainesville, Georgia, of course. But going to be seeing very heavy flooding just before that snow develops here. So it's going to go from very heavy rain to very heavy snow in a matter of minutes here, because that's that low pressure. It's just to the east. It's just to the east. So whatever precipitation falls, it'll be heavy. Whether it's snow, rain, sleet, it's going to be very heavy there, especially for the areas like Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina, because you guys are just right off to the low pressure there. But models are starting to support that cold front just getting right there. Just perfect timing here, because my temperature now expected for Christmas Eve is going to be 24 degrees, and it was 31 previous. So definitely decreasing temperatures, which could support more snow for Georgia, more snow for Tennessee, more snow for North Carolina, more snow for Alabama there. But there you see it moves out there by Christmas Eve morning. Going to bring in a very well white Christmas there for areas like Charleston, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, all the way down to still seeing some snow showers Christmas morning for areas like Georgia and the portion of the southeast there. But there's that low pressure strengthening a whole 8 millibars in just 6 hours. So that's going to bring in some major flooding here and very heavy rain for areas to the east of that snow. We'll be seeing kind of slightly more warmer temperatures there. But very quickly, those areas that get rain will convert to snow as that low pressure moves more to the west there. As well, going to be seeing some very strong winds due to that strengthening low pressure. Going to be seeing another low pressure off the coast here. So we're going to have two low pressures. Going to bring in some nice onshore breeze there across these areas here. That's going to bring in a very windy northeast, definitely, for a portion of the Christmas morning. Will you lose power? It really just depends. It really depends. It has to be a very weak power system to actually lose power from this. But since some remaining snow showers by Christmas morning, and then this is by the 26th. So let's look now at the European. Okay, I actually want to show the CMC before I show the European here. I've not really showed the CMC in a while. So the next 54 hours, you see that low pressure finishing off there across portions of the upper Great Lakes. And of course, high pressure is way up there in Canada, but it's still going to bring that cold, dry air from the Arctic blast all the way down to the Midwest by all the way down in Canada. So that's going to obviously help some snow showers developing. Obviously, if it was just a bit sooner, it will be a wintry mess for Chicago. You guys are just missing it there. But there's all that moisture from those two low pressures. One there in the upper Midwest, and then there in the lower South Central. So two low pressures kind of gearing the storm. By the time this low pressure moves out, it'll be this main low pressure that actually takes that system over, and that's where you're going to be seeing it kind of going like that. So that's going to be that main low pressure that kind of gears the storm. There you see that snow really blowing up there. So of course CMC definitely agrees that this cold front will meet up with the precipitation and moisture just in time. They're going to bring some snow there for Nashville, bring some snow there for Chattanooga, Tennessee, Frankfort, Lexington, Cincinnati, all the way up to areas near Toledo at this point by Christmas Eve late afternoon. But for the rest of those areas, it's going to be really heavy rain all the way from New York, Maine to the Gulf Coast. It's going to be a just absolute soaker if you're not getting that snow. But look how deep that snow goes down to in Georgia, look near Metro Atlanta, all the way down as well near Birmingham, Alabama. So we are starting to see a southern trend with this. Will it stay? It's really hard to say because it's really a close call with this cold front whether it will meet up with the moisture. It's a very close call. Models were showing it really missing by a few hours, but now they're starting to show that this cold front could meet up in time, just in time there. And we can see that because now they get snow there for my area, down to Metro Atlanta. And look at that. I mean, it's definitely reasonable as temperatures keep dropping in the forecast for the southeast. It went from really 31 2 days ago now to 24, still dropping here. I mean, it's really going to be a nail biter. Like, even on Christmas Eve morning, we still don't have a definitive answer whether it'll snow in my area or it won't. So definitely really interesting here. But as well, we're going to be seeing really heavy snow. And I mean whiteout conditions potentially for areas like Charleston, West Virginia. Areas as well near Huntsville, Kentucky, in the far southeastern portion there. Very heavy snow there for Johnson City, Gatlinburg, all the way up to some very heavy snow there for far eastern Ohio. So that's going to be very interesting there. Going to see some remaining snow showers there after Christmas morning. So definitely going to see some snow showers across the southeast with some leftover moisture. And at that time, it'll be in the 20s, teens, and 30s for much of the southeast there. So could see a few snow showers there. And you see that storm will kind of finish off by then. So here's looking now at the European here, and they're kind of starting to agree with the GFS now. They don't have a huge snowstorm for Chicago, for Milwaukee, for northern, or not huge snowstorm, but they don't have accumulating snow for Chicago or Iowa or Wisconsin anymore like they had for the past few days here. But there you see, we're going to have that low pressure all the way up there in the upper Midwest. I can't really draw too much, and then of course we have that low pressure down there in the Gulf Coast. So as that cold front kind of really starts to move southward, we're going to start seeing that snow developing across these areas to the east of that kind of trough. And then way north of that trough where it'll be very cold with that Arctic blast, we'll see snow from Minnesota. And this is, of course, by let's see, this is going to be, let me move my thing so I can see that this is going to be the early morning of the 24th here. So kind of the 23rd and 24th is when we start to see that really heavy snow there, continuing for portions of the Midwest there. Now, if you now get later to the 24th, there's that snow starting to develop for portions of Indianapolis. It's going to be very scattered. There's a few flurry snow showers, and then it'll convert back to rain for Indianapolis, of course, because it's going to be the further east this storm goes, the better the chance this cold front actually meets up with this. So at this point, this cold front will probably be just right here. Temperatures will be in the 50s and 60s for portions of the southeast, but by later on that day, let's see now by the evening, it'll be in the 20s. So we're going to be seeing a big difference, and that's going to be proving that cold front catching up here, and that's going to help prove all this snow all the way down to Tennessee here. European still has yet to really show it actually moving a bit more southward, but we will see if they continue, if they show that. So they are starting to get some snow for my area here. They weren't showing that yesterday, but they haven't really taken a big shot to the south. European really is not showing too much snow for Nashville. Actually, they don't have any snow for Nashville at all. Look at that. Rain, then that snow does not develop to the east, more to the east. So European is the really only model that actually shows that cold front not making it in time for Nashville, not making it in time for Atlanta, but just making it in time for areas like the Appalachians there. Very heavy snow for Charleston, very heavy snow for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's some decent snowfall for Frankfort, Columbus, as well. Going to be seeing that very big flooding threats across the eastern corridor. I-95 going to be big, just wet, really wet Christmas Eve and wet Christmas. Up to 2 to 4 inches of rainfall for those areas there. But to the east or straight to the west, we'll be seeing that very heavy snow for Pittsburgh and some light snow showers by Christmas Eve afternoon across areas of central Pennsylvania and portions that got hit by gale. Now, let's take a look at the snowfall tools. Of course, definitely looking at very interesting here. So, European really not showing that much snow at all for Chicago anymore. So, Trace Max, nothing for Illinois, nothing for the Ozarks. You can see, of course, some slight snowfall there from that low pressure right now where we have those windstorm watches. The 4 inches there from Minneapolis, so starting to increase ever so slightly. Looking at around a trace, so for Chicago, sorry, not Chicago, Detroit, maybe an inch for Indianapolis. Like I did say, it's going to be very hard to accumulate here because it'll be snow, then rain, snow, then rain. It's not going to be snow for back-to-back hours. It's kind of be really on and off when it comes to the snow there in Indianapolis. So definitely be a nail-biter as well. Like I said, no snow at all for Nashville or anywhere near Nashville Metro, according to the European. Of course, they're not really getting anything more to the south there. So Europeans really the only I guess the only big global model that doesn't really show it going that far south. GFS and CFC are starting to agree with that, so we'll see what actually happens here. But anywhere from 2 to maybe 4 inches there for Columbus, but to the east, gonna be a big wintry mess there. Look at Cleveland now, up to 6 to 8 inches of snowfall. Pittsburgh, 3 to 5 inches of snowfall, up to a foot there near Erie, Pennsylvania, and around 8+ inches there for Buffalo. So it's going to be a very wintry, big wintry mess there across areas off Lake Erie as we move more further near the lakes. Around 2 to 4 inches there for the Appalachians and the Great Smoky Mountains. 2 to 4 inches there for Lexington, Frankfort. And look at that, Charleston looking at a half foot there. Looking at around maybe an inch or so for State College, but it's going to be kind of more limited because Gale obviously affected all these areas, of course. All these areas basically. The Gale basically hit all of these areas basically. So it's gonna be kind of just to the east or just to the west of where Gale's real main system was. So I guess it's good for some of those areas that are still under that snow. They don't really want additional. But look at the GFS starting to really go creep its way southward again, getting near a trace or so near my general area. So it's getting a bit more southward. It's starting to creep more to the south. I can't give you a definitive answer whether it will stay because they can change their thoughts on the cold front, whether the cold front will make it in time or just hours behind. Obviously, yesterday they showed hours behind, but now CMC and GFS agree that this will actually make its way in time to bring snow for far more south into Georgia, Alabama, and much more so for Tennessee. So we'll have to see exactly, but GFS still has nothing at all for Nashville, Tennessee, but to the east, it's looking more wintry compared to yesterday. The 4 to 6 inches there for areas out here into east central Tennessee there. Look at the Great Smoky Mountains, up to over half a foot of snowfall. So totals for the south are starting to really increase. So that could allow some confidence that this cold front will make it in time. So we'll continue to watch throughout the day whether this continues on that southern trend or if it's just going to just be a little trend for 1 or 2 updates. But they have been showing this GFS and CMC have been showing this southern trend since last night, so we'll see how confident they still are. But 2 to 3 inches there for Columbus there, but just to the east, of course, a big wintry mess. Youngstown, Ohio, 10+ inches there. Look at off Lake Erie. GFS supporting up to 2 feet of snowfall near Jamestown, New York, up to a foot near Buffalo, and up to a foot there near Erie, Pennsylvania. So definitely very interesting there as well. Look how much of eastern Ohio, they're up to 7 to 8 inches of snowfall there. Charleston, 6 to 8 inches. So definitely getting very, very interesting here. Let's check out as well at the CMC here. Getting actually accumulation all the way down to Metro Atlanta. So that's definitely really interesting here what we're watching across areas near Metro Atlanta. Up to 3 inches there in upstate Georgia. Maybe an inch for Nashville. So CMC is definitely supporting this cold front made in time to bring snow deep in the southeast here. Nashville, an inch or so. Great Smoky Mountains, up to 4 inches. So definitely looking at a potential white Christmas for some of these areas there. Looking at an inch or two near Indianapolis. So definitely watching a resemblance between GFS and CMC. We'll see if European catches up to it here. Up to 4 inches near Frankfort. Up to over half foot for Charleston as well. Look at that big mess there as well. Columbus, Ohio, looking at 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. But to the east of it, near Cleveland, up to a half foot as well. Youngstown, up to a half foot as well. And much of northwestern Pennsylvania off Lake Erie, again at over a foot of snowfall. So definitely looking at a definite white Christmas for a few people here. But as well, those areas not getting snow, gonna get a ton of rain here as well. I mean, look at all that rain from Maine down to Texas. So that's gonna be a across eastern United States system here. That rain will kind of start as far west as Houston. Really won't be too much though, since that low pressure by the time it actually brings a lot of moisture, it will be far to the east there. Gonna be seeing up to now an inch or two near the Metro Atlanta area. Some scattered areas up to 2 inches there for portions of Louisiana. But really surprisingly, most amounts of rain will actually be to the north, and that's because that low pressure will be much stronger, meaning a heavy rate of precipitation. So anywhere that's not getting too much snow, up to 3.5 inches of rain there for portions of eastern Pennsylvania, up to as well an inch or two near for not Pittsburgh, DC, and up to areas near Maine and New England can reach up to 3.5 inches of rainfall, which is actually a ton of rain when it comes to this time frame we're talking about. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will do another one later this evening or afternoon, but bye guys.